Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm just here to make a video just to talk about some things. A couple of I just really wanted to talk about, video games, things that have to do with video games, and mainly, um, if I was a game developer or if I had money to fund a video game or to create a video game, what type of game would I make, and what game would it be, or whatever. Uh, What the heck? Oh, okay. Yeah. So, anyways, um, say if I had like about $100 million to make a video game, the type of game that I would make is a MMORPG. Now, I know people may be like, "Oh, that's stupid. That's lame. People have done that a million times before. I don't see a new type of I don't see where this could go. I don't see it being very successful, stuff like that, because it could be just like Sweltor, first of all, let me rant about them. If you don't know what Sweltor is, it's Star Wars, the Old Republic, the MMORPG. I fucking hate them. I finally beat the game after 4 years of having it, just because it kind of got boring to me. And the only reason why I finished it is just because I wanted to get through my character's story. Well, one of the reasons why I haven't played it is just because it went free to play. Reason being is because I felt that they screwed everyone over who originally purchased the game. We spent about $60 on the game just so a year later it can go free to play. I don't feel like I got my $60 worth out of the fucking game, because I decided I wanted to go free to play. So basically, when you go free to play, you lose things. You lose things like you lose the ability to change your companion's skin. You lose the ability to put your title up. And those two things right there, there's other things too that you lose. But those two things piss me off simply because we worked hard for those. We put in time to unlock those achievements or to buy those with the money that we earned from questing. I believe when it comes to free to play, they shouldn't take away anything that you earned while being a subscriber. They shouldn't. That's just fucked up. So basically, when you go free to play, they take all your shit away from you. That is fucking stupid. And also when they went free to play, basically you gave them $60 for free, because you can go through the whole fucking story for free. It's just that you can unlock additional things. You can't do additional things. To me, like when they refunded us, well, they didn't refund us. They gave us, they supposedly compensated us by giving us cartel points for the subscription time that we played. So basically, I got $5 worth out of $75 worth of stuff that I spent on the game, which a video game, including the couple months that I was subscribed to them. So yeah, I feel like I got ripped off by them, and I fucking hate them for that. But that's EA for you. They love screwing you over. But anyways, that's not even what my video is about. Like I said, I will make an MMORPG, but it will be a freaking Pokemon MMORPG. How great would that be? It's funny. I had watched this video a year ago with this dumb little weeaboo anime chick. She was saying that why Pokemon would never be an MMORPG, and I'm gonna pull that video up right now. Why Pokemon will never be a MMORPG. And I'm gonna go against everything she says, because basically everything she says is fucking bullshit. It really is. And my internet is going, oh yeah, well, I'm uploading the video right now. But still. Yeah, this is the girl right here. I could just tell by the name. I freaking hate weeaboos. Just in case if you don't know, I can't stand them. They are the most emo people in the world. They really are. And right now they're kind of ruining the Isle, which is a dinosaur game. Because most of the people in the game, they do like this Care Bear crap. That's the name we gave to them. To where like a T-Rex will guard a herbivore because that's their friend, or they want to be nice to them and shit like that, which is unnatural and it's unrealistic. most of those people have Japanese names. Like, I mean, they're white people, they're white Americans, just with Japanese names. And those are the truest weeaboos ever, man. It's disgusting. So I can't stand weeaboos because of many reasons. Not that, but just many reasons. Oops, let me turn this down because I'm sure this is very loud for you. Because I don't have my headphones in, so...
Hey Pokemon fans, Tamashi here. It seems like lately, there's a lot of demand for a Pokemon MMO. And I have to admit, I understand why. I myself have wanted to try a Pokemon MMO ever since I was first introduced to the genre in the early 2000s. The Pokemon universe seems built for a real-time interactive experience with many different people. I think somewhere in the back of all of our minds, we want to be able to travel together, battle and trade each other while collecting badges, all in a Pokemon world populated with real people, not NPCs. There have been a few fan-made Pokemon MMOs recently with varying degrees of success, but unfortunately, Nintendo and Game Freak don't seem to have plans to...
The reason why they have varying degrees of success, the reason why they like those were never truly successful was because Nintendo had tried to sue them and had the shit taken down. Like they sent them a little notice of taking the shit down. So that's why a lot of those fell. They don't do well. They would probably be extremely fucking great now because you know how many people would fucking donate to those guys for developing that game? A lot of people. If Nintendo were to give them the rights to develop that game would be doing awesome right now without Nintendo funding them. Simply because people want a game like that. A fucking MMORPG.
Make an official.
Now listen to her. I'm sorry, she's a fucking moron. The shit that she says in this, it just makes me sick. You'll see.
Pokemon MMO reality. And today I'm going to share a few reasons why. Number 1. MMOs are not usually profitable and fail more often than succeed.
And that's true. But you know why? You know why most MMOs fail more often than they succeed? Because the content. And then also what the game is based on. A lot of these fucking MMORPGs are copycats. What MMORPG out here has Pokemons? What MMORPG has a fucking a title as popular as fucking Pokemon? There's no fucking MMO out there. World of Warcraft is arguable, but there's more Pokemon fans than there are World of Warcraft fans. And there's more people who know what the fuck a Pokemon is over than what the hell a rogue or a paladin or Illidan or any character from World of Warcraft is, or World of Warcraft itself. You know what I'm saying?
Your standard MMO...
So, yeah, she said they fell more often. Well, that's because if you play a lot of those Korean wannabe World of Warcraft games, they are terrible. They are awful. They're copycats. And it's like, well, if you want to play a game like World of Warcraft, you might as well play World of Warcraft, right? I'd rather pay $15 than to play a crappy wannabe World of Warcraft. I'm dead serious. And there's tons of them out there. That's why they fell. But there is no MMORPG out there that simulates Pokemons. Really, there aren't. So, yeah. So that argument destroyed.
It costs between $60 and $100 million to develop. And on top of that, there's...
Nintendo has that money easily. They could easily throw $100 million into there. And also, they don't have to get that from Nintendo. Nintendo could allow a company, the developing company, to crowdfund that game. They will easily do that. You know why I say that? Look at Shenmue. I believe Shenmue got what was it? $100 million? It was something like that. They got $100 million within 3 days. I don't know how much it was, but it was in the millions. They got millions of dollars within a couple days. You know what I'm saying? So, this is Pokemon. Way more popular than Shenmue. Oh my god. They would be easily crowdfunded. Easily. Nintendo will be we want to crowdfund this game. We want our fans to be actually involved in this game, so we want to crowdfund it. Oh my god. Motherfuckers would drop their panties too, man. I'm not even joking. So, yeah.
Servers to maintain, ongoing maintenance and patches, and the constant development of new content.
Okay, your point. Maybe she's about to give a point, but yeah, what's your point?
Money involved. Creating an MMO is a huge risk. And
does she not know that creating any game is a huge risk? She has to. I would think that she knows that since she's a gamer. I mean, because if you want to talk about MMOs fail more than often, well, so do video games. Video games in general fail more than often. So, yeah.
Unfortunately, modern MMOs often face the reality that risk doesn't always come with reward.
Maybe you need to talk to the people who created True Crimes. Maybe you need to talk to the people who created all these other games that have failed. Yeah. Maybe you need to talk to those people who made that fucking, what was that game? Ride to Hell or something like that? The one with the fucking motorcycles. That game was terrible. Maybe you should talk to a lot of these game developers out here who created games that failed, because that's just video games in general. Video games often fail. You know what I'm saying? Talk to the people at Battlefront. Battlefront did terribly. So there's always a risk when it comes to making anything. Really, it is. There's a risk when it comes to making anything. Mass producing anything causes a risk because you may not have the buyers. That's just how things work. And it's not just isolated to video games. It's the same thing with movies. Movies flop very often. So, I mean, just like The Fifth Wave came out, flopped, did terribly. But that's just how it works. So your point does not stand.
I'm sure if you're even slightly interested in MMOs, you're already aware of the mega successful World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
With millions of players from around the world, it's the most highly successful MMO in history.
Sure is.
In fact, it's so successful, it makes it nearly impossible for any other MMOs to succeed.
Okay. Some of these games have been around longer than World of Warcraft, but they just weren't as good as World of Warcraft, like EverQuest. But, okay, let's look at this. All of these are basically like World of Warcraft, but not as good. All of these, except for EVE Online, but basically all these games are like World of Warcraft, Lord of the Rings, Warhammer, EverQuest, Lineage, RuneScape, Dofus, Final Fantasy, Cities of Heroes and Villains. Haha, that game flopped. I actually played that before World of Warcraft. But all these games are basically like World of Warcraft, except for City of Heroes also, because it's based in modern times and there's heroes and stuff like that. But all these games are basically like World of Warcraft. That's why they flop, because they're similar to World of Warcraft. Some of them are World of Warcraft ripoffs, and they aren't as good. Now, if Nintendo put a lot of resources behind their MMORPG for a Pokemon game and took the time with it, oh my god. That's all developers have to do. Listen to the fans and take their time with the games. Don't rush these games. Tell the publishers to slow the fuck down. If Nintendo slows down and let their developers develop a good Pokemon game, which Nintendo is pretty good at, allowing their developers to create these games. As long as they do that and they listen to their fans, that's very important, to listen to your fans. As long as they do that, they will have a very successful game. And this could possibly be all of Nintendo. So
Really impossible for any other MMOs to succeed.
That's not true. Competition, all it does is just sharpen the sword, baby. Do you not know about that? Competition is supposed to make you stronger, not weaker. I mean, because if we were to apply that logic to every facet of life, that means that, Kroger's, if you know what Kroger's is, it's a basically a big food market chain. It's basically like Walmart but smaller. But if that were true, Walmart should have killed Kroger's a long time ago. Food lines should be gone. If you live down in the southern area, I think it's called Publix, which is basically like Kroger's. They should be gone. But no, they're competitors. And the way they survive is by competing with each other. They lower prices or they give good deals, stuff like that. Yes, other companies get eaten up, but that's because they weren't strong enough. I mean, humans compete with each other. That's so all humans should be wiped out. There should only be one human here. You know what I'm saying? So, there's nothing wrong with competition. Competition doesn't kill everything around it. So, come on. That's stupid. Get out of here.
MMOs are designed to be played to the exclusion of everything else.
You know what? That's not necessarily true. She said that MMOs are meant to be played with the exclusion of everything else. Not true. You know why I say that? Because I played multiple MMOs at the same time. I played I don't really play MMOs all that much anymore. But I played World of Warcraft. I played Star Wars: The Old Republic. And I played... Damn, I forget it's a Korean MMORPG. It's one of the best ones. But I played all three of those at the same time. At the same time. Why? Because they offered different things. They weren't basically the same thing. So, Pokemon, World of Warcraft would never put Pokemon out of business. Even though World of Warcraft has like a Pokemon system, which is very weak, it would never put World of Warcraft out of business simply because they're two different games. Two totally different type of games. Yes, they're both MMORPGs, but they're totally fucking different. People, when SWTOR first came out, or before it came out, people were saying that SWTOR was a World of Warcraft killer. No, it wasn't. No, it didn't kill World of Warcraft. You know why? Because people failed to realize that they're two totally different games taking place in two totally different type of universes with two different type of feels to them. One is very futuristic with ships and all this other type of stuff. One is not. One is very ancient. Deals with like Dark Age, Middle Age type of stuff. Wizards, warlocks, all that. Two different type of games. So it's the same thing with fucking Pokemon. Pokemon has a way different vibe from Warcraft. That's like comparing fucking Pokemon Blue to Warcraft. Get out of here, man, girl, man. Come on now. You start to...
Players won't typically...
She's young. She is young. I mean, she's probably like a couple years younger than me, but come on. Use common sense. She's just making excuses for her train of thought. I mean, the way she believes.
At once. Once you start playing World, typically play 2 MMOs at once.
Well, it depends on the person because me, my brothers, and cousins, we all play multiple MMOs at once. Except for my one brother, my younger brother. He only liked World of Warcraft. He didn't like anything else. But when you actually talk to people who play MMOs, like World of Warcraft, they will tell you that they play more than one MMO. A lot of them do. A lot of them do. So,
once you start playing World of Warcraft, it's designed to keep you there for as long as possible.
Yeah, it sure is, but does it? No, it doesn't. It really doesn't, because you can actually fly through World of Warcraft with quests and stuff like that. You can play multiple games at the same time. I mean, not only have I played World of Warcraft with other MMOs at the same time, but I also played World of Warcraft with just other games, non-MMORPGs. So, yeah.
There's endless content to consume, a robust player economy, and social ties that...
Trust me, there's going to be a point where you get into World of Warcraft, where you're going to get in World of Warcraft, where you're just going to get bored with World of Warcraft. And it happens very often. Once when you get to, like, the threshold, like, the highest level, shit gets boring real fast. And then once when the next expansion come out, the only time you're really going to be playing it is while leveling. Once when you hit the highest level, you may even get bored after reaching the maximum level. Or you may get bored after getting gear and stuff like that, which doesn't take that long. So, yeah. Even though they may have designed it to, or they wanted it to take up most of your time when it comes to gaming, it really doesn't. It doesn't.
Keep players from trying new games. If you're the only one ditching WoW
That's
for a
not
new
true.
title, you'll eventually be pulled back into WoW if none of your friends follow you.
Not true. Me and my brother, we went to SWTOR by ourselves, and we left WoW for that. And our brothers, well, that was like way after. But we stopped playing World of Warcraft. We played SWTOR. No, actually, we was playing at the same time. When we first played SWTOR, we was playing World of Warcraft. Also, because we leave World of Warcraft a lot, we go on and off. And my brothers my younger brother and cousin never followed us over, so that's not true.
Fan base. But not every single Pokemon fan is also interested in MMORPG.
Okay, and not every fucking Pokemon fan is interested in handhelds. Most people who like Pokemon don't even play fucking Pokemon handhelds. It's true.
Jeez. Especially given that the market for MMOs in itself is relatively small. When compared to the ever-growing handheld gaming platform, Pokemon is already hugely...
Okay, and the only reason why they're hugely successful in that is because they mostly only been on handhelds. There's only a handful of games that have been on the consoles compared to what has been on the handheld. So that's why they're more successful, I would think. I would think if they had started off on consoles, they would be they would be more successful on consoles than they would handhelds. So yeah, why don't you think about that next time?
Successful on. Though I don't doubt a Pokemon MMO would be popular, I don't think it would be popular enough to take down World of Warcraft.
Why does he even need to take down World of Warcraft? It doesn't need to, and that's what she's failing to realize. I think she knows that, but she's just trying to use that to help her point. But why does Pokemon need to take down World of Warcraft? There's no reason at all for them to do that because they're totally two different types of games with two different types of feeling. So, sorry, I have a code.
There just isn't room for another popular MMORPG on the market.
Says who?
Especially with WoW already having Pokemon-esque mechanics incorporated,
which are crappy.
Don't think a Pokemon MMO would be enough to bump WoW off its throne.
Oh God,
there are about 10 million
joke.
Pokemon players worldwide and 50 million World of Warcraft players. You can do the math. Number 2.
Okay, guess what? Like I just said, majority of people who like Pokemon don't even play the fucking handhelds. So you're not even counting all the people who play World of Warcraft. If she said 50 million, this video is not even that old to be saying that. Because back when I basically stopped playing, which was like around 2012, they had less than 7,000 players. So what the fuck is she talking about? You can actually pull, I'm not going to pull up the stats, but you can actually put it up, and they have less than 11 million players right now. I'm sure they're probably even lower than that. You know what? I'm going to pull it up. World of Warcraft player count. Let's see. 5.6 million. 5.6 million. So yeah, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And there was another website that actually showed, like, it was like not their official website, because they don't have an official website showing their freaking player count. But yeah, so 50 million, that's bullshit. She's just pulling stuff out her ass.
Million World of Warcraft players. Million World Throne. There are about 10 million Pokemon players worldwide. Which is
way more than fucking World of Warcraft players right now. So, and when she made this video, there was like about 6 million. So she's fudging stuff.
And 50 million World of Warcraft players.
Wrong.
Do the math.
She must be counting everybody's characters, because I have like about 6 characters. So if you factor in everybody's characters, which some characters are not playable, then yeah, she'd probably be right. But other than that, she don't know what the hell she's talking about.
Number 2, a Pokemon
and that's what just want to prove it throughout most of this videos, is that she don't know what the hell she's talking about.
MMORPG would mean no more main series Pokemon game.
Why would that be? Why, if they make an MMO, that they would stop making the fucking handhelds? Maybe she should look at the people over at Warhammer, because Warhammer has not only a real-time strategy game coming out, but they also have a first-person action game. They even have board games. I mean, they even have a couple. Oh wow. Give me a moment, guys. Give me a moment. Oh shit. Oh, so she thinks simply because if they start developing an MMORPG that they can't divide the team, hire more people, and stuff like that, or just hire a whole new team just to build the MMORPG, or hire people who actually has experience in making MMORPGs to come over and make a Pokemon game with people from Nintendo who work on Pokemon games overseeing it. What the Woo! Well, I guess Dead or Alive should have died a long time ago, since they made Ninja Gaiden games. I mean, look at them. They made Ninja Gaiden games and Dead or Alive games at the same time. With that way of thinking. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. It's just, her way of thinking is just the stupidest shit I have ever heard in my life. So she thinks just because they make MMO that they'll stop making it handhelds. So I guess when they made Pokemon Stadium and they made Pokemon Coliseum, they should have stopped making handhelds. Do you know how stupid she's? I hope she watched this video. I really hope she sees this video, because I I really hope that she don't think this way anymore, because this is almost 3 years ago. I hope she doesn't think this way anymore, because she's a couple years older, got hair on her nuts, and she's a little bit bolder. So y'all know where that reference is coming from. But yeah, so I hope that she doesn't think that way anymore, because wow, anybody with common sense would destroy her ass.
If a Pokemon MMO...
We haven't even made it all the way through the damn video yet, and I just debunked every well, not really debunked, but I just shut down everything she said.
RPG were to be made, it would require a lot of resources.
Yeah, so?
And take away from those given to the development of the
No, it wouldn't. So you mean to tell me that when they were making Star Wars Battlefront, that it took away from Star Wars The Old Republic? No, I don't think so. I remember back when the GameCube was popping, it was the only console out. They came out with Star Wars Battlefront, they came out with a bunch of Star Wars games, Rogue Squadron, they came out with a bunch of Star Wars games. Why? Because they had people, and all those were good games too, and they were true to the series. The reason why was because they hired and made other teams. They did not take any resources from each other. They hired people to come in and to work on separate projects. What's so hard about that? Are you trying to tell me that the people over at Nintendo and what is it, Project CD? No, not Project CD Red, but the people who develop the games can't hire new people? You mean to me that they're fucking incompetent or something? That they can't make two games at the same time? You mean to tell me that they're not smart enough to hire two different teams? Two different experienced teams? Poor girl. Poor girl. It just makes me sad.
main series Pokemon games.
I mean, because this is the thing. What she fails to realize is that Nintendo is a publisher. They develop very little games. And what they could easily do is hire another team. An experienced team. I'm talking about a team that's experienced in making MMOs. There's a lot of those people out there. And I can tell you this. Pokemon MMO will pull in so much money. Who won't want to be behind that? You know, she needs to look at companies like Maxis that makes multiple games. They made SimCity, they made The Sims. They made a bunch of games at the same damn time. Look at Midway. Midway made a bunch of fucking games. They made a bunch of games. I'm talking about developing games, because Midway was a publisher also, but they developed a lot of games. Come on, you gotta be better than that. You're just making up stupid excuses.
Given that Game Freak...
I'm not saying that I don't agree with her in a lot of things. I mean, in some things, because I do. I like, you know, the World of Warcraft thing. It was made to, you know, divert all your attention from other games to play that game. But a lot of stuff she's saying is just baloney.
It's made it quite clear that they want Pokemon titles to stay on handhelds. And additionally, they have zero
Yeah, and that's true. But, okay, she's about to say they have zero experience
developing an MMORPG.
Well, that is why you hire people with experience, okay? I mean, if you wanted a house built, would you try to build it yourself, or would you try to hire people with experience? I would think that you would try to hire people with experience. Unless you were like experimenting or something like that, but I would believe if you really wanted your house to be built nicely, you would hire somebody with experience, wouldn't you? Well, I would hope that Nintendo is that competent to where if they can, you know, if they wanted a good Pokemon game to be made, they would hire somebody with experience. If they don't have the experience, wouldn't you think? I think so.
It's likely that if a Pokemon MMORPG were to be made, the rights would be handed off to a third-party company to deal with.
No, don't ever let Koei. No, I'm sorry. Don't ever let Koei handle any of your titles. Have you seen what they did to the One Piece titles? Have you seen what they did to other titles that they have been developing? No. Bad Koei. Bad. You get no more titles. Seriously. No more titles for you guys. Koei is awful. You know, there was a time in my life where I actually loved Koei. Not anymore. Not anymore. Oh, the Dragon Quest was terrible. Let me just stop. Don't ever get that off the damn screen, man. I'm tired of looking at it.
Made, the rights would be handed off to a third-party company to do.
Yeah, a company hopefully with experience. I hope they would not give it to Koei. They have no experience in MMORPGs. That would be the biggest mistake ever.
Deal with. Which means they already aren't guaranteed the same quality we see in the main series game.
But guess what? This ain't no handheld. This isn't a handheld. So that should have, since these things were made, this shouldn't exist, right? See how stupid that sounds?
And that, though, it would be impossible for Pokemon to go back to being a handheld game if an...
Why would that be? Why? Tell me, why? You should look at the people over at Blizzard. Wow. Not only have they made games, not only have they made games that went over to different genres, game genres, but they also made different games. They have Warcraft. They have World of Warcraft. They have fucking Diablo series. They have StarCraft. They have all these games. And just because they came out with World of Warcraft, they did not slow down making anything. Because Diablo was in the works for a long fucking time. They just wanted to perfect that fucking game. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if they were going to take other that just makes no fucking sense, man. They've been coming out with StarCraft games. I mean, come on. This is why you hire people with experience. I mean, there's this thing called hiring people. I mean, shucks. I don't think the people who are developing the handheld games are going to be around forever. So obviously, there's going to be new people coming up who are going to, develop the newer Pokemons. But yeah, anyways.
MMO counterpart existed. An MMO is a game with endless
Not
content,
true.
which the handheld games are not. It would just be impossible and silly for the franchise to compete with itself. If we were to get a Pokemon.
So I guess World of Warcraft competes with Warcraft. That's her type of logic. Oh, sorry. I was giving a moment of silence for her intelligence because it died a long time ago. Seriously, what the fuck? Yeah, I know it's a lot of cussing and vulgarities, but, I mean, come on. I'm not even halfway through the video yet. And it's just...
A trade-off. We would no longer get the main series titles we know and love.
Yeah, you will.
It's a temporary online universe that has the chance of failing.
A temporary online universe. See, she's already shooting the idea down before it's even thought of. You know what I'm saying? But no, why would it be temporary and why would it close down? Because I can tell you this, Pokemon would do so well. It would do so well.
If it did fail, it would also mean the end of the Pokemon franchise as we knew it.
Do you know how many times Nintendo almost went bankrupt? So get that shit off the screen.
Succeed? It still wouldn't be more successful as an MMO than it is now in its current...
Yeah, the reason why that meme was even created is because they believe that you guys are fucking idiots. You're basically buying the same fucking things over and over again without that much improvement in the games that you're buying. That's why they say it prints money. It has nothing to do with people loving the handhelds. It's just that fucking retards buy their... Let me just
handheld
move
incarnation.
on.
Which brings me to my next point. Number 3. The audience for a Pokemon MMO would be significantly smaller than the current Pokemon player base.
She truly believes that. Wow.
If the production of the main series Pokemon games for Nintendo handhelds were to cease in favor of this new platform...
Why would they do that? Why? Why would they kill a Game Boy? So I guess a Game Boy should have been died out because the Game Boy was the second console that Nintendo developed. Because I believe the first one was the Super Nintendo, and then the Game Boy came out like some years later. I guess the Game Boy itself, like I'm talking about, all the Game Boys should have been died since they came out with Nintendo 64, they came out with the Nintendo GameCube, they came out with the Wii, now they have Wii U, and they're planning on making another type of Wii. So handheld should have been extinct, right? With your logic. Come on, stop it. Stop it. If we were in a debate club, I would have to kick your ass out. And if we were competing against each other, you will lose. Oh my God, you will
That would force the Pokemon playing audience to migrate.
Why would they kill their fucking handheld? That makes no sense.
Most likely a PC, given how expensive developing MMOs for consoles is right now. Legally, a PC-oriented online game must require that its players be over the age of 13 to sign up, which means...
And how many people actually follow that shit? Nobody!
Automatically, they lose a huge chunk of their player base.
No, not true. Hey, you know why? Because most people who play MMOs are kids. Most people who play World of Warcraft, most people who play Star Wars, The Old Republic, most people who play any type of online game, whether it's through Steam or whatever, are kids. I'm sorry to tell you, they are kids. Most of them are. So, obviously, to get around that. Now, I think she's going to mention credit cards and stuff like that. Yeah, that can slow you up. But, I was a kid. You know how many times I got my mom to let me use her credit card for video games, stuff like that? So often. You know how easy it is to bypass this shit? Just say that you're 18 or older, or you know, change your birth date, stuff like that. It's so easy. I did it when I was an adolescent. So,
even given how popular Pokemon is with adults, the majority of Pokemon players are still children.
Just like majority of all gamers. Does she not know this? That majority of all gamers, it's actually getting bigger amongst adults. You know, the field of players. More and more older people are starting to play video games. Actually, video games are the fastest growing form of entertainment in the world. And a lot of that growth has happened over the past 10 years. So, yeah. But anyways, that was just, you know, something extra. But yeah, most players are kids. And that's with all games. Not just Pokemon. It's not exclusive to Pokemon. That's exclusive to all games. All the games. All games. All video games.
Especially in Japan. Throw in a possible subscription
especially all around the world.
system, and there's also a paywall to deal with. Even the adult Pokemon.
Yeah? There's always a paywall to... I didn't know they were handing out games for free. Please, somebody tell me where they're handing out games for free, and I will be there. Yeah, I'll be there. It's like, I could have sworn most most games are free. I mean, most games you have to pay for, and the ones that are free to play, you still have to buy things. So, yeah. So, yeah, there's always a paywall when it comes to playing a video game, right? I believe so.
Players aren't necessarily PC gamers on the side either. Meaning they may not have the specs or internet connection to support the game.
Now, that's one thing that I do. That's a couple things I do agree with. For one, I believe that, yeah, okay, the subscription thing may turn some people off. But that's if they do a subscription thing. Pokemon may make so much money that they might not even need a subscription system. I mean, seriously. Look at the people at Rockstar. They did so fucking well that all their DLC is free. All of their DLC is free. So, yeah. Pokemon would do way better than Grand Theft Auto. Way better. They didn't charge us extra for their online, basically their MMO. Because the online version is basically MMO. It's a multi-massive, it's not really massive. You can't play with hundreds of players, but you can play up to like 20-some players online in a fucking thriving world. So, but anyways, so I can agree with her on that, yeah, okay, also PC specs, but it's a good chance it's an MMORPG that you really don't have to have a great computer to play that game. Like, take World of Warcraft, for example. You don't need a great computer to play World of Warcraft. Also, there's this thing called settings, graphic settings. She's probably such a console player that she don't really know nothing about it. But you do know that on PC, most games, basically all games, you can turn down the graphics to where it will lighten up the load on your computer. So, yeah. Not only are majority of MMORPGs graphic, like light graphics, are not graphic heavy is what I'm trying to say. You can also turn down the graphics. So yeah, I can agree with you on that to a certain extent, but yeah, they do have those options. So yeah, I can, like, seriously, I'm not even joking, I can run 10 World of Warcrafts at the same time without any problem. I did that like years ago when I had a crappy fucking computer. So yeah.
Suppose, though, that they somehow managed to get all 10 million current Pokemon players to sign up with the MMO.
They don't need to get the current 10 million. All they need to do is make a game, and guess what? People like me who do not like handhelds, but who love fucking Pokemon. Basically, the only person, let me tell you this is a true fucking story, not even joking. When I was about probably like 9 years old, because I was in the 4th grade, my mom, because this is when I was real young, this is when I was in elementary school, and Pokemon just started to become popular here in the United States. My mom brought me a handheld, a Game Boy Advance. She surprised me for my birthday. And she brought me a Game Boy, not a Game Boy Advance, sorry, a Game Boy Color. And she got me Pokemon, I think it was green. She got me the very first Pokemon, I believe it was green. And then we got red later because, I'll tell you, you understand the story. But I didn't actually get it, my brother did. When she brought me that, guess what? You know what I did? I played it for like 10 minutes. It was like, here, older brother, who's trying to rename nameless, here, take this. I don't want it. And guess what? My mom, what did she do? She went and bought me something else. But I gave it to my brother, and it was kind of like an early birthday present because his birthday is a couple months later. So yeah, I did not like it at all. I did not like it. And even when my brother, because he kept it, he bought him Pokemon Red after that and Blue. He liked it, but he was the only person in our family that liked the handhelds. But he will easily tell you that, oh my god, he will tell you in a heartbeat that he'd rather have an MMO RPG over a fucking handheld. There's only so much you can do in a handheld. I would love to experience a world, an actual fucking world, a Pokemon world. But yeah, so yeah, basically everybody in my family loved Pokemon. Even my sisters love Pokemon. Even my niece loves Pokemon. But they don't play the handhelds. The majority of people who watch Pokemon, who love Pokemons, or whoever has like a casual like for the Pokemon, they would rather, I'm sure most of them don't even play fucking handhelds. And I'm sure most Pokemon fans who play handhelds and who don't play handhelds will rather, play MMORPG than the fucking handhelds. So, anyways.
That is a massive server load for a publisher with very little experience running MMOs.
That's why you hire people.
And odds are the results won't be pretty. Number 4.
That's why you hire people.
Mechanically doesn't translate well into an MMORPG.
Why doesn't it?
In most MMORPGs, the combat is overworld in real time. In a Pokemon game, the combat is turn-based and takes place...
So that means that World of Warcraft's pet battling system shouldn't work, right? Okay, just killed it right there. Shut up.
From the overworld. There's just no way to translate the mechanics from a Pokemon battle into the same combat system you see in most MMOs.
So I guess that new Pokemon game, the one that allows you to play with other players, shouldn't work, right? Or even the ones that were created by fans had never worked, right? Okay. There we go. She's officially stupid in my book.
To keep the core gameplay from Pokemon attack in an MMO setting, it would need to be a Pokemon battling simulator, but with a hub world interface instead of just a text lobby. The other option is to change the battling system entirely, in which case the MMO would superficially resemble Pokemon, but not truly mechanically.
That's stupid. Nobody would want a fucking Pokemon MMO like that, where it's like live action, where you just push a button and they do it. No, turn-based is the only way to do Pokemon. Now, they could work it in that way, and if they were good at doing it, then yeah. But who's to say that that's Pokemon? Pokemon, if you ever watch Pokemon is not a turn-based thing. Only the games are, because that's the only way it could be. That's the only way it could function at being that type of game. It's by making it turn-based. But when you actually watch the cartoons and you watch the movies, it's not turn-based. It's not turn-based at all. Pikachu! Thunder Shock! Okay, he did his Thunder Shock. Now you, Gary, you can go ahead and do your move. Okay, he did his move. Now it's my turn to do my... No, come on. That's only in the fucking handheld games where they have the turn-based thing, because that's the only way RPGs worked. I mean, even in Final Fantasy games are turn-based. Basically all RPGs, traditional RPGs are turn-based. And that's the only way they work. You think if Cloud were in a fucking real fight that he would take turns fighting somebody? No. I don't think so. None of them would. Come on. Let's be realistic. So if they did make it work that way to where it was non-turn based and it worked, that's cool. As long as the game works. But me, I would prefer the turn-based, just because it's true to the game series.
Have anything in common with Pokemon or its concept. It might look like Pokemon, but without the deep and robust battling system that the Pokemon games are known for, it's not likely to be nearly as fun.
Now, seriously, that's more realistic to Pokemon than the turn-based thing is, because seriously, if people were out there dueling Pokemons, it'd be similar to a fucking dog fight, or a cockfight where you make two chickens fight.
That the Pokemon games are known for.
It'd be just like this.
It's not likely
it won't be them taking turns. It will basically be them out there just banging with each other.
Be nearly as fun, even though Pokemon is an RPG.
Why won't it be as nearly as fun? Because it's not traditionally like this. Okay, that's your opinion. I can't take that away from you.
It has very little in common with the systems found in most MMORPGs. Wild Pokemon don't drop loot. There aren't tombs, dungeons, or crypts to raid. There's no gear to collect aside from simply aesthetic additions. And the level cap would need to be raised much higher.
Look. I can tell you this as a Pokey. They can always introduce those, like, gear dropping, or maybe you can unlock gear after you get, like, a certain amount of experience and stuff like that. Gear dropping for Pokemon, that sounds fucking stupid. But they can always, it doesn't have to be exactly like World of Warcraft or other MMORPGs. I think she fails to realize that you don't have to follow a certain style just to be an MMORPG. You really don't. You don't have to follow a certain style to be an MMORPG. Pokemon can be totally fucking different and still be an MMORPG. You can unlock Master Balls. You can do all that stuff. You can even buy clothes. Like, say if you get a certain experience, now you can get like a fucking, since you beat... because I would think in a Pokemon game, you want to unlock gear. Why would you get gear? It doesn't make you better or anything like that. I would think the only reason why they would have gear being unlocked is for aesthetic purposes only. You know what I'm saying? So you can look different and you can customize your own character. But I would think that most people would be working for badges. Most people would be working to try to get better Pokemons. And I do see an experience thing. Like, maybe they can, it's leveling up your Pokemons, because we know that the stronger your Pokemon becomes, the more experienced your Pokemon becomes in the series and in the games, you can unlock new moves. I think those are things that people will be going for in a Pokemon game, and those are things that keep people there. I would want to make my Pikachu probably the strongest fucking Pikachu. That would be my goal, and I think that would be most people who play the game's goals. So it's not like it doesn't work. There's a lot of things that can happen inside of a Pokemon MMO. Badges, leveling your Pokemons, capturing fucking Pokemons, winning tournaments. I mean, come on. Don't sell Pokemon short, girl. Come on. You're just... Okay, let me move on.
The player feeling like they're accomplishing something. To build the
I would think, like all those things I mentioned, I think that you will feel like you're accomplishing things by getting badges, Pokemons, certain type of balls, Pokemon balls, because we know that the Master Ball will be way more expensive than regular Pokemon balls. So you would need to work for money, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. I mean, the Pokemon could drop loot. I mean, like, money and stuff like that. Or experience, even like experience, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe players get experience, but that experience translates over into currency to where you can spend that type of currency. Because your players, your only things that will basically level up will be your Pokemon. We do know that Pokemons do have different levels in the game, so so you level up your Pokemons. Basically, the trainer experience will translate over into currency, which you can use to get different things, like Master Balls, just all different types of balls, gear, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Tints. So yeah, there's a lot that they can put into the game to make you feel like you have a goal. You know what I'm saying? Make it feel like you're working towards something. And they could easily have raids where you're fighting Mewtwo. They could easily make that the boss. Like from the Pokemon first movie where we all met up on the island and we had to fight Mewtwo as this boss. That could easily get turned into a fucking dungeon. You go through some of the Pokemons that he turned against, the clones that he made. Oh, come on.
Every kind of gameplay an MMO requires to keep its player base hooked. They didn't change so much about the concept that it won't even
anymore. No, they don't.
Pokemon is already pretty much an MMO. Pokemon is already an online game, based on the handheld console. You might not get to chat.
Yeah, but since this game was created, the traditional Pokemon games should die, right? Or even the ones on console should die. But hey, I'm off of that.
There's other players on the overworld, yet. But the mechanical interactions with other players are built in, with Wi-Fi battles and trading.
See, and that's much appreciated that they made a game like that, but guess what? I don't feel like I'm in a living, breathing world. My cousin has this game, and it just doesn't feel like you're in a Pokemon world. It still feels like you're an observer. You know what I'm saying? Like you're sitting up there watching yourself play this game. I want to feel like I'm actually in a fucking world. Because when I play World of Warcraft, I feel like I'm actually my character. When my character gets killed, I'm upset. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I have just been killed. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the dinosaur game that I'm playing right now, The Isle. I feel like I'm in a dinosaur world. I feel like I'm a dinosaur surviving on my own or surviving with a pack. And when I get killed or injured, I feel it. You know what I'm saying? So you don't feel that type. You don't get the same type of villain from playing this game.
Hell, rather than a PC, Pokemon is pretty much already what people are asking for. It sounds like what people want isn't really a traditional MMORPG with a Pokemon coat of paint, but just the same game we all know and love with more socially interactive features. Hopefully in X and Y we'll get some of that. We're getting trainer customization and the player search system, which sounds like it'll allow us to chat with our friends in real time as we play the game via Spot Pass, as well as trade and battle with them anytime, anywhere. Supposedly we're also getting some major updates to the global link, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how those turn out. Either way, I have a feeling Game Freak isn't ignoring fans who want an MMO completely.
Yeah, they are.
They're just trying to give them what they asked for in a different way. So there you have it, the 5 reasons I think there won't be an official Pokemon MMORPG. It's not that it's a terrible concept.
No, you just don't want it. Anyway, she's basically done. She just doesn't want a Pokemon MMORPG.
First, there's something there. But it seems like the Pokemon universe just isn't ready to take on an MMO incarnation right now. Primarily just
is.
To the issues the MMORPG market currently faces.
The same problem all fucking game genres faces.
Keep in mind though, there's always the possibility that I'm completely wrong about all of this.
Oh yeah, you are. Trust me, you are.
Someday there might very well be an official Pokemon MMORPG. And if that's the case, I'll gladly eat my own foot and join in on the fun.
No, you won't. No, you won't, because I make sure that you won't. I was playing. She will be the most emo fucking chick ever. She'll be running around with a Japanese. See, I don't like fucking weeaboos. Oh my god, and she's a straight weeaboo. Majority of the people that you see online with the fucking Japanese names are white Americans. People from North America, Canada, or, well, I would just say Anglos. People from the UK or from North America, whether it's Canada or the US. I can't stand them. They are the worst people in the world. No, you know who's actually worse than white weeaboos? Black weeaboos. Oh my god. I tell you, black people are some of the most die-hard not Pokemon fans, but anime fans. Don't ever come across them. They will fucking try to rip you up, man, over some damn anime. But I can't stand weeaboos. And that just makes this video even worse by just seeing her fucking name. Tomashi. Get out of here, man. Go on, man. It's like I was playing. Anyways, that's all I have to say. This video has been long enough. This chick obviously don't know what the hell she's talking about. So yeah. Deuces.